You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host, saying always for the Mindset Movement. First-time listeners, thanks for stopping here and giving us an opportunity to earn your trust. We appreciate it. Long-time listeners, thanks for coming back. We appreciate you guys even more. Maybe, not just joking. Listen, each and every week we get into it here. We talk about small business owners, the mindset of small business owners, real estate, really use it specific, but I try to keep it generic. This way I don't pigeonhole myself into one thing, and I try to address as many as topics as I can in that realm. So identifying business opportunities is what we're going to talk about today. So I would say there's a lot of questions I do get asked, and I would say this is probably in the top 10. It's kind of like, hey, Navid, I was thinking about this. What do you think? This is a good idea. And I'm sure we all have those, right? We're sitting there eating and we create a dish or we create little device to do something. We, MacGyver something together and it works out. We're like, oh, this should be a great tool I'm going to invent. So, and I get that question a lot is, is this a good business idea? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how do you identify something that potentially could be an opportunity for you to start your own business, whether it be on the side or eventually go full time. I mean, just, I don't want to say business 101, but I'm going to say business 101. I would say, what's the need for this item that you've stumbled across, created, developed, whatever, and what does this item do exactly, and does it do it for the masses? Does it do it just for a particular niche? Now, neither way is wrong, right? If something does it for the masses, great. That's just more of an opportunity for you to sell on a broader scale. If your product or whatever is niche related, like it's only for realtors, only for truck drivers, only for nurses, only for plumbers, that's fine. Then you're in that one niche, which means you actually can charge more, believe it or not, because you're catering to a specific market, a specific target is what you're going after. So let's say you identify, right? Now you identify, and this thing is just for a particular niche. That's it, right? And then now let's look at this niche, right? You've created this thingamajig, and it's for it's for realtors, and you're like, okay, let me see, what does this actually do? What does this thing that you've created actually do? What do? You get on Google, right? Right off the bat, we get on Google, we type in, devices that do this and see what happens. See what kind of searches, because there could be something. There could be one-off things, or it could be something else that someone's tried it but has done a horrible job marketing it, but it's sitting there, right? So you want to double check that. Then maybe you talk to, or simultaneously, you talk to people in that field, right? Normally when people create something that they're excited about and they're all happy about, it's because it's something that they themselves find useful, and then they know like 5 billion people who could find it useful too, and it's usually within their skill set, which means their job. So you would talk to people within your niche, in your job, in your job segment, and say, hey, if I had this, or if you had this tool that did this, what do you think? And just gauge the response. And maybe you make a couple of these items, and maybe you give them to a couple of people. Say, do it here, just test this out. Let me, because you found interest in that, which is fine. And that's great. That's our passion, right? Something drives us initially to keep moving. So you find it, you use it, it works great. Someone else in your industry may not use it as much as you do for one reason or another, or they may use it in a different fashion and it may not be effective. So when you're trying to identify if what you've come across or what you've created is a legit opportunity, right thing, it's what they call R&D, research and development, right? That's your basics. You want to research it. Does it exist out there? That's first and foremost. Because again, there's a lot of products that you may be surprised exist, but the marketing behind it was horrible, or the funding wasn't there. And so it just sits there. And okay, maybe you can talk to this person and say, hey, I have funding and you've done a lot of the due diligence work for me. that I was going to have to do, or maybe the product doesn't exist at all. But you want to research it first, right? So that's the R for research and development. Then you want to do the D for development. The D is basically um, what do you need to create this on a mass scale? This product, how do you develop it? How do you develop it? So does it need patents? Does it need licensing? Does it need certain safety criteria? Whatever. So you have to go through those motions, and you'll be surprised. This is where it dies. Okay, because it can get boring. It can get time consuming. It can get expensive. And this is where a lot of ideas, good and bad, die. It's the amount of time and effort that takes to create these things that a lot of us don't want to put in. There's a saying in one of comedian Kevin Hart, comedian slash actor slash entrepreneur slash businessman, Kevin Hart does, and he was like, and it's like almost like a pregame talk, and he goes, and he yells, he was like, everybody wants to be famous, and the Plastic Cup Boys say, but nobody wants to put the work in. And he goes back and forth. He says it. He was like, everyone wants to be famous. They yell, but nobody wants to put the work in. And that's what this is. R&D is the work. You have something in your mind that's awesome. It's great. It makes you feel good. Like, oh, this is great. But now you got to put your time and effort into it. It's like, I'll do it this weekend. I got busy. I'm working and I get dinner ready and the kids and, I'm going out. I got poker night. I got to watch this recording I did. And weekend gets here. Oh, it's a weekend. I'm going out. Well, I thought you were going to work on your project. Nah, man, that's cool. I'll do it later on. You just never get to it. Right. So R&D is where a lot of things go to die. So before when you, how to identify an opportunity, sometimes not something all the time. It's not just, okay, I have something here that I think could work. It's what amount of time are you willing to put into it? Right? What amount of time are you willing to put in to this potential opportunity that could change your life? Now, off the cuff, we're going to say, I'll do whatever. I'll work 24/7. I'll sleep when I die. Okay, great. Prove it. Prove it. Put your money where your mouth, put your money where your mouth is, and start creating, start developing, start researching your great idea. Are you scared? Are you scared that what you think is a great idea won't be a great idea? In the actuality of it, that when you actually start digging down and creating this and talking to people, that people are going to say, no, I don't want it. No, it's not a good idea. You're wasting your time. When you identify an opportunity, you got to stick with it. That means you got to stick with the no's. You got to stick with the self-doubt. You got to stick with all the negativity that comes with that. And if it's really a good idea, if it's really an opportunity, you'll break through. You'll break through it. But that's for you to decide, no one else. Sometimes these opportunities are around us all the time, and we just don't realize it. So it's a shame. It really is a shame that, we are in our own way. We rely on everybody else to do a lot of stuff for us. But that's the world we live in, and we always have lived in. Sooner or later, some of us do live in a different world where we make shit happen. So that's what I got for you guys this week. Hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, man, opportunities are there. It's just, you just gotta learn to persevere and push through them and believe in them. So each and every week I end the show the same way, saying, do right by the client. Just do right by the client, and everything else will fall into place. Sometimes the client may be you. You may be your own client. Do right by yourself. Do right by your thoughts. Take care. Have a good week. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Thanks for joining in this week. We'll see you and talk to you guys next week. See ya.